Hello and welcome to the conversation. My name is Kanoda Gatwa and thank you for joining me. The conversation that we are having is fear of failure. Fear of failure. And my question to you is, have you ever found yourself struggling with fear of failure? How did you deal with it? Or what impact did it have on your identity or your personality? I know this is a conversation that many of us would want to have and would like to have, but many of us find it difficult to come out and talk about their struggles. And that is why I'm bringing up this conversation, because I believe and I know it is an important conversation that we need to have. And so amongst the things that I've talked about in my book, Echoes of Inner Self, Unmasking Fear and Quest of Identity, is fear of failure. And I've in depth talked about the things that I struggled and how I fought and struggled with fear of failure, how I dealt with it, and how it affected my personality and my identity. And some of the things that I would want to highlight is some of the characteristics of people or someone who is struggling with fear of failure. And just to highlight a few, one of them is low self-esteem. I know many of you or many of us will not agree with what I'm about to say. That many people who fear or who struggle with fear of failure, a bigger percentage of them, they have self-esteem issues. Why am I saying they have self-esteem issues? It is because many fear to fail because they feel as if they are not good enough to do whatever it is that they need to do, to go to whatever level or stage of in their life that they need to go. Self-esteem affects us in ways we cannot even comprehend. It may look as if it's a small issue, but it has a lot to do with our personality, our identity, and it also speaks volume to us when it comes to us achieving our goals and achieving our vision. Why do I say that many people who struggle with fear of failure have self-esteem issues? It is because for you to conquer the level that you are in, you must be self-aware. You must be confident enough to know that the next level of your life is calling, to know that you need to do better, or you need to be bold enough to take the next stage or the next level or the next action that you're required to take. There are so many people who are gifted, so many people who are multi-talented, but they struggle to move from one level to another. Most of them, you will never see them going up the ladder. Many of them stagnate at a particular point in their life. Why? Because they feel as if the next level is too big for them, or they feel the next level is something that they cannot conquer. And so self-esteem affects us even when it comes to making decisions in terms of achievement or in terms of getting to the next level of our life. Another thing that I've come to realize and I have discovered is one of the characteristics of someone who is struggling with fear of failure. It is the avoidance behavior. You realize that many people, a lot of people who have or who are struggling with fear of failure, they have avoidance behavior. What do I mean by avoidance behavior? These are people who are reluctant when it comes to trying new challenges. These are people who do not want to have certain conversation, especially if the conversation is challenging their way of thinking, is challenging them to be better and to do better. These are people who will avoid certain people, they will avoid certain conversation, they will avoid certain meetups because they know the outcome of it will challenge them to become better men or better women and conquer the current level that they are in. Avoidance behavior is evident in many ways and in many areas of our lives, whether in marriage, in business, in academics. You will see that there are people who are so afraid to conquer the level that they are in so that they can go to the next level. You will find that there are people who are reluctant, people who are okay, people who are satisfied with the level that they are in, and they will do anything and they will go to whatever length to see to it that they avoid challenges that will cause them to break out of their comfort zone. And so it is important you understand, whenever you see yourself struggling with this avoidance behavior, you are always avoiding conversation, avoiding people who are challenging you to be better, who are challenging you to face your fears, to face the fear of failure, and do something greater than what you have done, achieve something greater than what you have achieved. It is important you pay attention and deal with avoidance behavior. It is good to challenge yourself to try new things. It is good to challenge yourself to overcome the area or the level that you are in. Another thing that was really something that I struggled with is negative self-talk. This is eating a lot of people. A lot of people do not speak positive into their life. A lot of people, when faced with challenge or when they are afraid of conquering new territories, they begin to look at themselves and talk negative about themselves. Look even in the Bible, the spies that were sent to spy. Look at the report that they came with. They saw themselves as grasshopper. They started to internalize that. They started thinking about that, and that became part of their confession. And many people who are struggling with fear of failure, they begin by telling it to themselves that, you know what, I cannot do this. You know what, even if I try, I will definitely fail. If I start that business, I have seen others who have started it, and I will also fail. If I get into marriage, I have seen how marriages are breaking. I've seen how people are killing each other. People are immoral. So even for me, it won't work. If I choose this path in my career, there are no jobs, there are no opportunities. And so you start by speaking it to yourself. And the more you amplify it, the more it robs you of the voice of boldness, or it robs you of the confidence that you can be able to do it. And so it is very, very important of what we say to ourselves. A lot of people have failed because of negative self-talk. A lot of people have killed their morale because of the things they have said to themselves, because of the things they have believed and confessed. And so if you want to conquer fear of failure, if you want to achieve something greater or something better than what you have achieved, it begins with positive self-talk. Speak life to yourself. Begin encouraging yourself. Begin telling yourself that you are able, you are enough, and you got it. Because many people do not encourage themselves. Many people do not speak life to themselves. And so at the end of it all, in whatever challenge, you end up seeing yourself being, being defeated. Another thing I struggled with, and I've talked really about it, is procrastination. And this is one of the things that really is eating up a lot of people. I have also talked about it when it comes to avoidance behavior, how people will go to extreme ends to really shine when it comes to procrastination. There are people who are kings and queens of procrastination, people that can be awarded for procrastination. These are people who even procrastinate even their destiny. Yeah, they procrastinate everything. So procrastination is another thing that really eats us a lot. And let me just say a line that I have written here. And I have said that fear of failure can cause individuals to delay starting or completing tasks as a way to avoid the possibility of failing. There are people who look at things or look at tasks or challenges that they have or things that they want to achieve, and they procrastinate because in their mind already they have seen failure as the end product, and so they keep on procrastinating. I will do this tomorrow, I'll begin next year. When it comes to financial freedom, I will start saving next year, because at the end or at the back of their mind they have already envisioned and they have already seen failure as the end product. And so it is important for us to understand that procrastination actually does not help us in any way. What procrastination does, it is take us further from the vision or the goal that we want to achieve. And the more we procrastinate, the more that vision or that goal grows dim. We are not able to see it clearly, and you are not able to achieve it with the zeal and the energy that is required. What are some of the causes that brings forth fear of failure? I have talked about early experiences during childhood, such as criticism, punishment for mistakes, and other things that contribute to development of the fear of failure. For someone who struggled with childhood criticism and punishment, even for silly mistakes, they are always trying to be perfect. They are always doing everything to perfection. And many people who also struggle with fear of failure, they work towards being perfect. They do everything to perfection. Whatever it is, they do it to perfection, because there are things or there is something in them that is craving for, there's something in them that is really pushing them towards that. Another thing is traumatic experiences. I've talked about personal traits. I've talked about parental expectation. These are some of the things that I did research on, some of the things that I went through. Now, it is important to understand the impact of fear of failure on identity. These are just some of the things that I have seen it is important I just highlight. And if you really want to get to learn these things, or you get to really get detailed information about the things that I'm talking about, I am selling the book. It is out for 1,000 shillings, so get yourself a copy and you will learn a lot. The impact, number one, is self-worth that is tied to success, identity crisis, there is loss of motivation, there is risk aversion, and other things. There are some of the impact that fear of failure has on identity. I know you want me to tell you how to overcome the fear of failure. I have talked about things that I learned, things that really helped me to overcome fear of failure, things that help me to unlock my potential, and also the confidence and the boldness to conquer new territories. There are things I would not have done if I allowed fear to really hinder me. There are things I have done, and it is because of some of the things that I have learned. I want you to just look at this book as a manual to help you to deal with fear, any form and kind of fear. We are going to talk about the fear of rejection. We're going to talk about the fear of judgment. We are going to talk about, fear of the unknown. We're going to talk about the fear of, we have talked about the fear of identity. We're going to talk about fear of losing control, and so many forms and kinds of fear. I may not be able to read everything that is on this book. I may not be able to talk about everything I have written on this book, and so it is important for you to get this particular book. You can order it via WhatsApp. The number is down there. You can also go to Nuria store. I will leave the link there, and all other places that you can find this book. It is important you read this book, you have time with this book. It is a book that is going to challenge you. It is a book that is going to help you overcome certain fear, and it is a book that is going to help you to unmask fear and quest for identity. So it is important you get yourself a copy of this book, and this book is going to bless you. Up until next time, we continue with the conversation, and I want you to understand that the conversation have just begun. Thank you so much. My name is Kanola Gatwa. Up until next time, good night, good day, and God bless.